Greetings, BUSN 1305 Introduction to Business students. So this video is for the experienced or novice Connect users. It's a quick how-to and a proper view word of caution. And there's really only two things I'm going to talk about. When I say the proper view, I want you to be aware that Connect will by default be hiding some things for you, and I want to point that out to you. And then I want to briefly focus on an area of confusion, which is the Learn Smart, which is the reading assignments, but it's a graded reading assignment. So how do you get points for reading? Well, you have to answer some questions, and sometimes this confuses students, so I want to go over this. All right, so let's just jump right in, and I have already opened my web browser to a demo copy. This is not your actual course. This is just a demo copy. Now here's where I'm going to begin. When you log in to Connect, whether you have used Connect for a lifetime or whether you are brand new to Connect, the very first time, most especially, you need to begin at the web address that your instructor provides to you. That web address is not just unique to your course, it's unique to the section, and it is the way by which Connect associates your username to the particular course. So that web address, very, very important. Now there's something else I would add, which is that my courses, at least as of this video, are participating in what's called the DEI or Inclusive Access Program. So you've already paid for this digital access, which is going to be your book, it's going to be some of your required assignments and tests. So this is a very important system. I'm going to show you how to log into it. So I'm going to start out, this is my first time going into this demo copy of the course, so I'm going to put in an email address. You can put whatever email address that you would like. However, when we get to the username, that's the one that needs to be exactly the same as it is in your college, on the college roster. So when I look into the course, if I see John Smith, but you go by Chip, because you're a chip off the old block, then you cannot use Chip. You've got to use John Smith. If you have had a name change, last name change, due to marriage, due to divorce, anything, adoption, whatever your situation is, and it's changed your last name, maybe you just changed your last name. Is it changed with the college? If not, you need to use whatever the college currently shows. That's very, very important to the grading process. So I'm going to start out and I'm just going to put in an email address. Again, use whatever email address you want. Just make sure that your name agrees with the college roster. So I'm logging in and I arrive into Connect, and this is the screen that's displayed, and it says there's no assignments due in the next 7 weeks, and that's wrong. It is filtering this, or next 7 weeks, next 7 days. It's filtering this view, and you need to be aware of that, because a lot of students will get to the screen and close down the computer and they're missing information. So of course you are looking frequently at the class schedule, which is all your assignments, whether they're in pause, whether they're in Connect, whether they're late work assignments that are invisible to you right now. All those assignments are on that class schedule that you have. So really need to be looking at that, at least once a week. I look at it every day just to kind of set my trajectory for what I need to do. But what I want you to do, where it says menu, click on menu. Now this is my pretend student, Betty Baker, and you can come down, you have a calendar view, and that's okay, but the one that I really want you to get used to coming to as soon as you log into Connect, classes, and then look at this, all the classes, when you first create your account, if you let Connect associate them, they'll all be set up right here so that you can use that account in Connect. So I'm going to pick this first one. And I just want to make sure, I'm in this Intro to Business class. What I'm going to show you really applies to different classes, but if you're in Intro to Business, this is what you want to look at. All right, this is me. I'm your instructor, and you want to just double check that you're in the right class. If you wanted to rent or purchase a physical book, you are free to do that, but the ebook is the only thing that is required, and that ebook is essential because it integrates in with your other assignments. If you just want to read the book, this is where you could go to do that. However, I think most students are going to want to go straight into the Learn Smart, and I'm going to show you that, but I want you to be aware of these things over here. Now, if you are brand new to Connect, I have some tutorials out here. They don't help you, they don't hurt you, so feel free to explore those if you would like to do that. But all your work, when you come, how did we get here? Menu, classes, right? And then we selected our class. So I clicked and we selected our class. And then we're seeing everything. Look at all these nice little folders that are so well organized. Even all the way, look at this, I'm seeing down to my test. I see there's going to be some late work there. I can see how many items are in each of these chapter folders. And so this is a great way, you know, when you're using that class schedule document that I gave you. So chapter 1 now, look at this, it says there's 3 items, but looking ahead I can see that there's 4 items here. So I want to kind of keep an eye on that. I'm going to click chapter 1 to expand that, and I have 3 different assignments for chapter 1 that are in Connect. I've got more things, so I need to be looking at my class schedule, that document that I gave you. The one I want to show you is the chapter 1 Learn Smart. So I'm going to come across, and this is, as it says here, Learn Smart. You'll also see SB, that means Smart Book. How about that, Smart Book? I'm going to click on this blue arrow right here. And I want to read this information because look, here's when it's due. It says I haven't started, tells me how many points it is, so this is important information. Now, here's the first thing I want you to understand about this Learn Smart. Even after the due date, you will be able to access this Learn Smart assignment because it's your book. It's your smart book, and we don't ever want to take the book away from you. We want you to be able to go in there. But here's the catch. You don't earn points. On August 30th at 11:55 and 1 second p.m., you'll still be in, you'll still be working, but you won't be earning points anymore. So be aware of that. What's going to happen is this Learn Smart will go into something called recharge mode. And recharge just simply means to practice. So it functions just like the assignment did before. It's just an opportunity to practice. Okay, so we've already learned something about this Smart Book or this Learn Smart assignment. So click on Begin. Now you want to be very patient as you wait for this page to load. I paused the video because it actually took I'm on a very slow connection, so it actually took a couple minutes. And it says here's the due date, just as a reminder. Here is what we expect the duration is going to be, and here's the content that you're going to have to cover, which is 30 concepts. Okay, so how would you like to start? Would you like to begin by reading, or would you like to begin by answering questions? Either way, it's going to be hard to answer questions until you've done some reading, but maybe you already know. This is chapter 1. Maybe you already know some things. So I'm going to click on Start Questions. And it tells me, you make progress by completing concepts. The number of questions will vary depending on your individual needs. So here's what that means. It tells me right here. It's okay to get a question wrong. You know how on a quiz, if you miss a question, you say, okay, I had 10 questions, but I missed 1 question, so that means I made 90%. That's not how this works. This says if you have 10 questions and you miss 1 question, then here's another question on that same topic. Okay, so it's about how did you get to the end? Did you get 100% of the concepts answered? That's how your grade's going to, and you're going to see this. So you still earn 100% if you complete all concepts by your due date. So submit your answers by selecting your confidence level, and this will not affect your grade. So okay, got it. Let's see how we do. So the first thing I want you to see is up here across the top, it says 0 of 30 concepts completed. Well, I need to fill up all these bars so that all 30 concepts are completed. How do I complete a concept? I'm going to have to answer 2 questions on that concept. So this is 60 questions. Okay, so remember when I said earlier that this may take a little time? Don't save everything until the day before. Don't save everything until the day before, okay? So let's jump into the question. A business that sells goods and services over the internet to consumers, but not to other businesses, is engaged in what? And you would pick whatever you think is the right answer. Now, I'm just going to pick this first one. And it says, well, do I need to read about this? Because maybe I just don't know. I haven't done any reading. Maybe I need to read. And if I need help on that particular concept, I can click read about the concept. And what it's taking me to is, should be taking me to the very part of the book that answers that question. Okay, I had to scroll down just a little bit, but look at this. This is highlighted in yellow. It's a concept that I don't know yet, so I need to read it so that I can answer the question. When I think I have the answer to the question, see down here, it says to questions, and this returns me to that question. Okay, now the next thing I do is it says rate your confidence to submit your answer. Well, I have no idea. Maybe I say high because I mean, I'm guessing. Sure. Okay. Do you see that the minute I clicked that I had a high confidence, that's when it graded it, right? And I was wrong. And so since I was wrong, I didn't get any shading on any of my bars up here. But it does give me the answer, so I can learn from this. I should have said business to consumer commerce, but hopefully next time if I see something like this, hopefully then I'll get it right. Now, I can try to answer another question, or I can say, you know what, maybe I just need to read the book for a little while. So I'm going to go ahead and click down here where it says reading. So I want you to see how you move inside of this Learn Smart assignment. When I am reading, if I'm taking notes, if I'm doing all that, I am not earning any points, but I am getting the knowledge. Now, why shouldn't I just say, your college students, read pages 1 through 50, right? And then we're going to have a quiz. Well, if you're like me, I can read and my mind wanders. I'm thinking about dinner, I'm thinking about laundry, I'm thinking about what's going on outside, and I'm thinking about what I need to do and what other classes that I have, right? Well, the great thing about answering these questions as part of your reading is that it kind of forces your brain to focus on, and that pushes the learning in. So it's a great way to read. So don't feel rushed. It's not a timed thing, right? You just have to get to the end of the assignment and make sure you do it before the due date. So I think, this is just like a printed book. This is your ebook, and you will see highlighting, and those are things you really need to focus on. Here I can change the page. And if there's graphics, I'm on a slow connection, so sometimes it takes a long time. But you can see, there's some definitions, some things that I need to read. So I might want to go through and read about standard of living and quality of life, and just kind of go through lots of great information. It's very visual, even some videos that are embedded, and these are great, especially when we kind of get to some supply and demand, those types of things. You're going to love those videos. Maybe after I read just a little bit, maybe I'll change page again or something. Then I need to answer some questions, right? So let me go ahead. I clicked 2 questions, and remember I missed this one, so I'm going to ask for another question. So here's my next question. It says the definition of a business is socially responsible organization that is not for profit, an organization that provides services to a community, any organization that provides goods to a community while operating at a profit, an organization that seeks to provide goods and services to others while operating at a profit. Well, maybe I'm feeling like I've read a little bit, feel a little better about this, but I'm still just not even real confident. I'm going to pick medium. Well, hey, I got that right. And notice my blue bar up here, halfway filled. So I'm not done with that concept. I'm going to have to answer one more question on that concept before it would mark it as being complete. Now, I answered medium. So later on, I can look at reports to help myself understand, because maybe that was a little bit of a guess. And if so, it's an area that I would want to study more before the test. So that's what those high, medium, and low values are about. But this is how I earn points. I go through, I click next question, and you can see there are different types of questions. Revenue is the monetary value of what a firm received for, what would you say? I'm going to say low. Well, how about that? I got another one right. Notice it wasn't even the same concept. I've just answered another question. So I'm going to do this until I get to the end of my 30 concepts, which is going to be 6 questions. Anytime I answer a question incorrectly, oh, here's a fill in the blank. I was going to say, let's answer something incorrectly. Now, if I don't know this, what do? Click on Read About the Concept. And I'm on a very slow connection, so those pictures take a long time for me to display. But what the book will do is it will scroll you to like the part of the text that contains the answer. I think my internet is actually so slow here that it's not scrolling as well as it usually does, because it'll take me right to that page in the book. So isn't that kind of cool? And then I can just find the answer. I can answer, then I go right back to the questions. And if I don't know, I'm going to say A, B, C, D, E, F, because I don't know. And then I'm going to say, oh, I'm so confident about that. Well, that wasn't the correct answer. So here's the words that it would have accepted. Maybe I had a misspelling. If so, that's important. So I do want to fix those things. But notice it did not fill in any of my concepts. So I've got to answer the questions correctly. In order to make 100%, I'm going to have to answer 60 of the concept questions correctly. So that's how that works. At any time, if you start to get frustrated, something like that, you can say, I'm not understanding. I need to just go back and just read. Click on that reading button. And you'll see the highlights. These are things that if you have not yet answered a question successfully on this, then it'll be highlighted in yellow as an important concept. If you have answered a question incorrectly, it'll be highlighted in yellow because it's, again, an important concept. If you have mastered it, what you'll start to see is the text will turn light gray. And at any time, if you see light gray text and you would like to, read it, then you can just click on it and it'll make it a little darker so that you can read it. But that's the smartness of this smart book. It's trying to help you read and focus on the things that it knows are important. Okay? How does it know what you know? Well, because of the questions that you answer. And as you answer more questions, this highlighting will change, because it's going to say, hey, Dr. McGrory, we don't think you understand what stakeholders are, so we need you to focus on that, because that's an important topic. Okay? But reading is great, and I love reading, but we can kind of let our minds wander after a little while. That's the great thing about going to the questions. The questions are where we earn points. I'm going to next question, and this is how I'm going to get that 100% on my assignment. At any time, you can exit the assignment. Right? It says, are you sure? You will be able to pick up where you left off. Okay, exit the assignment. Just remember that I have to be done by the due date. That's why that class schedule is so important, so that you can follow along and pace yourself with that. So where am I again? I'm under Menu. I'm under Classes, and then I picked my particular course of interest, whichever one that happens to be for you. I clicked the chapter to open it. I have all these different options. And maybe next I want to take a video quiz. Now I think you can do a quiz, so I'm not going to spend much time on this. I do just want to point out that this is a more traditional quiz, whereas the Learn Smart you can go in and out of, you're answering questions, you're trying to get it right. This video quiz is much more like a traditional quiz. You have 3 attempts. I only use your highest score of those 3 attempts. You're not penalized in any way for taking this quiz again, so I encourage you to do that. Notice that this is 10 points. If I were to click Begin, I'm starting my quiz, and it says, okay, 10 points. This is when it's due. Make sure I'm noticing that. This is the current attempt. Continue. Now I'm going to see the video. This is probably the source of confusion. Scroll down. See that little scroll bar? Make sure you scroll down. That's the first point of confusion. The second thing is, when you answer this question, the great temptation is going to be to click submit. But notice along the bottom that there are actually 5 questions, and the way that you advance between them is by clicking on next. So make sure, because you only have 3 attempts, so don't submit until you've answered, all the questions. Now again, notice that I'm on page 2 now, and it's showing this video is going to keep showing on every page. So make sure that you scroll down, because you're going to get a different question. So now I'm going to go to page 3. Let me just click on next. And see how it took me to the video again? Make sure that you scroll down. Okay, I guess I should answer something on here. I'll answer D, and then I can go back to the previous ones, but notice I have to keep scrolling down. I'm not even reading these questions. I'm just blindly answering them. Maybe we'll get some right. 2, 3. If I forget to answer a question, it will prompt me. Let me just pick something here. And okay, so for example, I still have question 5. If I click submit, it says, wait a minute, you have 1 question incomplete. I need to go back. Okay, let's go to this question map. Do you see how I did that? You can rewind the video if you need to. Now I've answered all of them. Let me click submit and submit. And so what am I going to know? Well, it says I've submitted it, view the results. And look at this. I can go back through. I'm not even going to show you because I want you to do this for yourself, but I can go back through. It showed me that I got my answer wrong, and it showed me the correct answer. So lots of opportunities for learning, because what was my score? I didn't do too well, I don't think. Oh, look at this, 2 out of 10 points awarded. So I need to do this again, and I definitely need to improve that score. And look at this explanation and everything. So I'm going to exit. And this is what I want to show you. When I go back to chapter 1, do you see next to this how it says see report? And so at any time I can go back and review those attempts. Okay. Now the chapter or the application activities can be different types of activities, so I'm going to let you explore that. And those are the 3 required assignments for Intro to Business. And for chapter 2, and in fact for the other chapters as well, you'll notice that you have an extra assignment, and I love these. Now these are bonus point opportunities for you, and I'm going to tell you the really cool thing about this. They're simulations, and so there's going to be a scenario, and you get to pick a character that you want to be, and you're going to be asked questions, and depending on how you answer those questions, you'll be presented with more questions, and you're graded, and you'll see these scores along the top. And typically you're graded on multiple things, like you might be graded on how professional you are, as well as how ethical you are. Okay, that's just one example. So I think you're going to love these, and you're going to explore those, but you'll see those types of things as a challenge yourself bonus activity. The syllabus gives you the points and those types of things, so be sure to look at that. Mind the due dates, use that class schedule. So I hope this is helpful. The biggest thing that I wanted you to take away from this, 2 takeaways. 1, remember that when you log in, you go to this crazy view that I call the crazy view. It's the to-do list, and it says you don't have anything to do. That's crazy talk. You've got lots of stuff to do, so don't let this filter the assignments away from you. Use that class schedule so that you're seeing your pause assignments, you're seeing your connect assignments. That scheduling document that I give you is critical. And then what do I want you to do? I want you to go to menu, I want you to go to classes, and I want you to pick the course. I'll pick this other one, which I think is also Intro to Business. Yeah, and this is just a demo. This is going to open up to you the first day of the semester. You'll have access to this throughout the semester. Again, it's your ebook. It's some of your required assignments, including tests. Your late work is going to be here. So really keep an eye on these if you would. All right. I hope this helps, and I'm looking forward to a great semester, and I hope this helps you to begin that semester comfortably and to have the information that you need. Thanks, folks.